What's up? What's up? Welcome back to The Real Rundown. I'm Bruno, joined by Pedro and Scott. Today's our Halloween special. We're going to talk about some of our favorite scary movies this year. We're going to focus on particular 3 or 4 movies, and then we'll recommend some other movies that kind of, piqued our interest. What's good, Pedro? Is that our sponsor this week? Canada Dry Fruit Splash? Zero sugar?
Yeah. So it's a cherry ginger ale. I've never tasted like ginger ale with a flavor on it. This thing is amazing. It's a game changer.
The cherry, though? See,
Yeah, I know it sounds questionable, and I forced myself to try it, and I was super surprised, man. It's just tastes really good. But I didn't even know ginger ale came in flavors. I thought it was just ginger.
Ginger ale is the flavor, isn't it?
Yeah, but they threw a splash of real cherry juice in here, and
Yo, 365 cola, stevia. This is the Whole Foods special.
I've never even seen that. Is that a marshmallow and chocolate on it?
No. I think it's
What is
ice.
that?
It's ice cubes. It's ice cubes.
Why is the ice cube black?
This is my I like soda, right? But I don't, soda's horrible for you. So I usually get this Whole Foods 365 cola, stevia sweetened, 0 calorie.
Isn't
I like it.
stevia like horrible for you?
No,
Isn't that the artificial sugar?
Stevia is actually the good one, the stevia leaf extract. It's not like what they use in Diet Coke or like Zero Cola, Coke or whatever, Coke Zero.
I usually just get the 365 like seltzer water, lime.
Yeah, I get that for my daughter.
I recently had 2 places, a Colombian spot open around the corner, and I had this little sweet called Pan de Bono. Pedro, you know about this?
I know the name. It's not coming to my. I can't picture what it is right now, but I've heard the name and I know I've had it before.
It's like this little Colombian sweet bread made with cheese. It's like a cheese bread.
Yeah,
like hints of cornmeal or something. They heat it up. These things.
Yeah, you gotta have that with a hot Colombian coffee.
Yeah.
Like
So
that's the winter little feel good.
Dude, I was out wearing my puffer this morning. It's freezing out.
When I got in my car this morning, it was 35 degrees.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's puffer season. Pre-show, we were talking about House of Dynamite, which premiered on Netflix, I think, last Friday or this past Friday? This past Friday, actually. Yeah, I didn't watch the last 20 minutes. I kept falling asleep. I tried to watch this movie 3 times and I just kept falling asleep. I don't know, it's because I started late, but I haven't made it. So we can talk about the whole thing other than the ending, because I'm really curious to know if this nuclear bomb is going to hit Chicago or not, and if Rebecca Ferguson's kid and husband are going to make it out alive. So no spoilers, but what did you guys think of House of Dynamite?
I like when a different perspective story is told and how they switch midpoint. This, like Weapons did a wonderful job because every chapter regressed the story. There was not a lot of relapse over, like retelling the story over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
This one did a horrible job. Like the moment it stopped you right at that point when he was going to make his decision. And the whole time you couldn't see him on his picture on the Zoom. And then it cuts into it, and then it's his perspective. And you got to relive the whole friggin' 45-minute story all over again from his perspective.
It cuts to him, and it's Idris Elba as the president of the United States. And I'm like, oh, God. And he's usually somebody like I'm hyped. I'm a fan of his. I think he's just like really good actor. He's been doing like a really corny stuff lately, but he wasn't really good in this at all, I don't think.
And he was prime minister and heads of state.
That's right. Yeah, I know he played like another.
I thought he was a president or something, but no, prime minister.
It's a state with John Cena, right? Where they like fight terrorists or something.
Yeah. John Cena is the United States president. He's the prime minister.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, he used to get hyped when you see him and stuff. Like I loved him in the Suicide Squad. I loved him in The Wire. He was in Luther. Luther was a dope series. Mm-hmm. He's a really good actor. But like you said, he's been doing cheesy stuff lately.
Yeah, he's also like a well-known British actor, and for me, that just doesn't work. Same thing with Jared Harris. He played like the Secretary of Defense, I think. But this guy is in, oh, he's in Mad Men, but he plays like a British guy, and then he's in Chernobyl as well, which he plays another British guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So him playing an American for me just doesn't work at all. But I did like, I like the change of perspectives. I wasn't prepared for that. So when they changed perspective the first time, the only thing I remember is like one of the guys saying, "Hey, did you watch the game last night?" And I was like, "Wait, he said that already." And then I was like, "Oh, this is like his point of view now. We're starting the story over again from a different perspective."
But it didn't really add anything. It added bullshit. Like, like who cares? He went to a game to like, shoot a free throw. He was talking to his wife in the background. We got to meet the guy who carries the football for the president. You know what I mean? Like, so what? Like it did nothing at all. At least in Weapons, when you got different perspectives, like the lapse was not that great. Of you're not reliving the whole story again, and it drove the narrative forward. And you got a different. It was like, I have my gripes about Weapons, but the way they played that in the chapters was really well done. This, as soon as like I realized it was being repetitive, I was like, damn. Now it's like halfway through the movie, and now we're just gonna play the whole thing over again from a different perspective, like just adding some stupid key points. Like, who cares?
I don't mind the different perspective per se, but yeah, it needs to add an element of suspense or drama to it. I think a movie that does it really well is Dunkirk. I don't know if you've seen that with Tom Hardy.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a movie that pretty much tells us, it's similar in format, but it plays with the idea of time for each one. But it tells like the same story in between three different perspectives. Yeah, I wanted to like this one, man. I wanted to be like procedural, really get into the nitty-gritty of inside the White House and the operations team there, which is cool. I really like that part of it, but yeah, the story kind of dragged, especially the third act when they introduce the president.
And the first 25 minutes, half an hour, did a decent job, and you're like, okay, wow, this is plausible. Like, how do they miss like where it came from? Now they're thinking it might be an inside job. Okay, you got me. Yep. Like, let's keep going. But then when he came on, like it hit a brick wall. What the hell's going on? Is this a comedy now? Like, and they made him look so bad as a president. Like,
yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, when you first meet him, he looks like he just looks like a clumsy kind of goof.
Disheveled, not prepared.
Yeah,
like asking a procedure. Like, what kind of president doesn't know what's like? I don't know, man. To me, it just let me down.
A movie that came to my mind was Better Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, where like they repeat the same scenario over and over, but that was done in like it's not called The Better Tomorrow. It's something.
Okay, good, because I never heard of that.
Better Tomorrow is like it's like a.
Oh, you're talking about
Edge of
Tomorrow. Talking about like that was like a Jet Li movie or something.
Oh, that's a totally different story. That's
not
no.
I'm talking about the Tom Cruise.
The Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow, yeah,
bro, that's one of the dopest movies.
Like, that's time travel though.
That's how you do that.
Perspective.
That type of movie where it's the same scenario like over and over, but this just after you've seen like the first act, like you've seen it,
Yeah, and I was also like, how are they gonna stretch this movie out? Because it's like 5 minutes away from this thing hitting, like, and I'm 20 minutes into it. So then they sort of reset. I was like, oh, okay, we're in for this thing. Okay.
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise though. Like I wasn't expecting that, but it explained it because I was thinking the same thing. Like, this is what are we gonna get for the rest of the movie?
Yeah.
I thought you bounced when you were eating Yassos and drinking seltzer, man. I don't know what happened.
I'm over here yelling, cut. Is this gonna do this out? Should we jump onto the spooky season? You guys both got the spooky backgrounds on. I wonder if I can change mine.
The spooky season. House of Dynamite was I think it's unanimously a letdown.
I don't
Yeah.
even like starting with that because it
though
feels like it drags.
even though it has a high rating on Rotten Tomatoes right now, I can see it going down because the most recent comments are all really bad on it.
Yeah,
But it's starting
79,
off high.
77.
Yeah, it's starting off high.
I don't even love starting with that because it feels like it drags the whole podcast down, starting on such a shitty note.
No, it's not a shitty note. Sometimes it's nice to dunk on movies.
It's number one on Netflix, so we usually on this pod we usually like to cover the number ones of the weekend.
Bro, Perfect Neighbor. Can we talk about the Perfect Neighbor for a sec? Speaking of Netflix.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
But I was the one that suggested it. It's funny. I suggested it. I haven't seen it.
Sorry, one more note. If Idris Elba dunked the basketball during that free throw thing, I was going to turn it off. I said, you know, you're going to push it too far. I'm going to turn this off, Netflix.
They spend like 5 minutes talking about jump shots with every, like playing basketball, being a black president is like, it's like such an Obama thing. And he's talking to every person he meets. Oh, how's your jump shot? How's your jump shot? When he shoots the basketball, I'm like, this guy's never been on a court before. Not in his life.
It was so awkward. Like,
he
was so stiff. Oh man. Yeah.
Anyway, he didn't dunk on it, but you dunked on his movie. All right. But we're going to talk about 3 movies that each of us recommended the others watch. Bring Her Back.
Oh wait, I did 4. I did both of them.
You did Damned, right?
Yeah,
so
Damned and Bring Her Back.
It was Bring Her Back. It was Damned. It was Cloud, and it was Hard Eyes.
Yes, I watched that.
I didn't have a chance to watch Damned. It also looked like the most terrifying out of all 4. Was that the case?
More psychological.
It was my sneaky pick, man.
When did that come out?
Sometime earlier this year. But since it was a foreign film, it got a very limited release.
Oh, that was foreign film. Okay. Where do you guys want to start? So I can pull up the Wikipedia page.
I want to riff off on Bring Her Back first.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Because I feel like that movie was really, really hyped. It took me a long time to watch it. I know that movie came out way earlier this year. I think it came out
it was May. It was like an early summer movie.
Okay.
Let me just before you go in
January or February for some reason, but
let me just set up the plot before you go in on it. So it's called Bring Her Back, directed by Danny and Michael Filippo, who directed Talk to Me, I think was their big hit. And the movie's about 2 young siblings whose father passes away, and then they get put into a foster home with this woman, Laura, and then she begins to act a little bit weird toward them. And that's kind of the setup, basically. Pedro?
Yeah, so this movie, I mean, the trailer looked scary as hell. The posters, the marketing. I even had a friend who I trust a lot with horror movies, and I trust his opinion. Like, tell me it's like the best thing he's ever seen.
After he saw it, or after he saw the trailer?
No, after he saw the movie.
Wow.
So, I went into this scared to even hit play because I haven't been in the mood for something terrifying, and then the opening scene, like, really kind of like disturbing, that like bad footage of the VHS tape they're watching of this ritual sacrifice ceremony thing. And I'm like, oh man, the whole movie's going to be like this. I need to mentally brace myself. But I'm glad I stuck through it. I toughed it out because this movie was not scary at all to me. Not scary at all.
A lot of the scary parts were not actually the scary parts.
I thought the scariest part of the movie was the footage of the VHS tape and just like my mind telling me like, man, I bet stuff like that actually exists in real life. Like an underground tape that's like spread around underground circles on how to perform like rituals and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a Russian
That was the scariest
tutorial.
part to me. The rest of the movie to me was just like torturing this little kid actor and like him doing gruesome things, like biting into a piece of wood or a knife. Yeah, it's just like
that got to me.
Seeing this kid like in pain and like transform, and I'm like, man, that's not me.
Yeah, so the woman Laura, who's the foster mother, she has like another kid in the house who is mute, and basically what she's doing is using one of the new adopted children and this mute boy in some kind of ritual where it brings her daughter who died back to life by killing one of the new adopted kids. Um, and the mute boy is kind of like he's pretty much like a zombie, right? He's supposed to be the dead daughter's soul, and he's just the host. Is that right?
I didn't understand what he was. He was like, from what I put together, he's like this. He's possessed by like this, whoever the person on the tape was that was like performing the ritual like that. We don't see
Okay.
them clearly, but it's like some old looking man or something, right? Like they show him
I
like
don't
kind
know.
of naked in one part of the footage, like drawing a circle and like performing the ritual. And I'm like, I thought that was him in this boy's body, um, just being held there until she's able to transfer her dead daughter into it. But it didn't make sense to me because there was no explanation whatsoever.
I thought the way I took it was that Piper was going to be the host for her daughter, and that the sacrifice was going to be the boy Oliver.
Mm,
Yeah, but
He was going to
he
be the
was
sacrificial lamb that they were going to like sacrifice in order to have the soul or spirit come into Piper, and that's why she was like
yeah,
ushering
which is
Piper in.
which is what led me to believe that it contained like the whatever the spirit or the soul of this whoever it is that does these rituals that was on the tape. Because why wouldn't she just do it herself? And
yeah, I don't know if that's accurate because she tried to drown Piper, which was like the climactic moment of the movie when she was performing like the final act. Yeah, but to your point, like I was kind of confused about how this ritual worked. And to be fair, so was the main character, or so was the main villain, because she kept referencing these videos, trying to like literally these videos were a
she kept
tutorial
watching
that
it
she
like,
was following.
yeah, scene by scene to learn a little more.
Yeah, so I don't even know what the hell she was doing. From the get-go, though, I knew that the mute kid, Ali, I was like, all right, this kid is either a victim in this whole story or like he's been kidnapped or something. Like I think that was pretty much, something I assumed early on, that he was either going to be the hero or the victim of the story. And he was, one of the victims. He had already like been kidnapped before the movie even starts. To me, where it fails is that I think the movie wants us to be sympathetic towards Laura, who's the foster mom, because she suffered the loss of her own daughter. But that's never really explored. So the
Yeah,
whole
that's not
movie,
happening either.
and you just hate her the whole movie. You
Exactly.
really
Yeah,
hate her
she
because
gets more hateable as the movie goes on.
right. So she has this big moment at the end where she's like laying in the pool, and it's like I was like, I just wish, because she takes her own life, and I thought she deserved a worse ending than that, because
I
she's just a horrible person.
I have the details of the thing of the ritual, right? So
Found the tape.
the person is possessed by a demon, is the intermediary.
So that's
Um,
Ollie.
that's Ollie. That's the boy. He must consume the corpse of the deceased person. The permanent host,
Yeah.
which was Piper, must die in the same manner as the original deceased. And then the ritual loops. And then the host regurgitates the spirit of the person who died into the permanent host. So Piper was the permanent host. That's why she was drowning her in the end, because her daughter drowned in the pool
In the pool,
originally.
yeah, it had to be in the same spot.
So they had to cycle it back. They had to create a loop.
I see.
So he was eating the body. Damn, he was eating the body. We didn't
He
touch
eats
on
the
this
body
yet.
at one point.
She's an amazing actress. Like, she was in Paddington, she was in Wonka, and for her to play such a disturbed person, like, she's a happy-go-lucky like actress in these movies.
Sally
like her
Hawkins.
character, yeah.
Yeah.
And she did like a phenomenal job portraying this psycho, well, grieving mother who just wanted to bring her daughter back.
Yeah, I didn't buy that though. She just felt to me like a really shitty person the whole time. Like she brings the kids home and she like gets drunk with them day one. Like they're children and they're drinking vodka. Like she's drinking vodka straight out of the bottle too, which is crazy. I just thought she was nuts. My one question was, how did the father die? So he's in the shower, he collapses, they find him dead, but his face is all kind of disfigured. I didn't really understand that.
I thought it was like a stroke or a heart attack.
Was it? Oh, it was something like kind of benign like that? I thought it was something malicious.
He
And
had
it's
like vomit and stuff on him when he died, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, like his face was not like a regular face. He
Yeah.
had like something happened to that guy.
oh, it was a drug overdose.
Did they hint at that?
they hinted that they just said that he abused his son, and I don't know if they said he abused alcohol or drugs, but
That's why it was so mirror image, because it was messed up for the son, Andy, because his father used to beat him in the shower, so Piper couldn't hear what was going on. So, like you said, they brought up like points that he was abusive. He was really abusive to Andy, and Andy was probably like the best character in the whole thing, because he was
Yeah,
wholesome.
he
He
was.
was looking out for his sister. You really were driving for him.
He's
It was
the
too
only
much
sane
body
character.
horror. Yeah. I mean, Piper was, she was just, she
Piper's
was
just a
dealing,
sweetheart. Yeah.
yeah, she was dealing with her father's loss, and Laura was giving her like all this attention and letting her drink and like
Yeah.
being this cool adoptive parent or whatever. It was messed up. I
there's
don't know.
also there's also a part where Oliver, what's her name, Laura, refers to him as an angel. Like, remember, she's describing him towards the end when she's trying to convince the little girl to like go on with it, that nothing bad's gonna happen. He's like, oh, he's just an angel sent, So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little vague to follow, but it's not difficult to put the pieces together. Like, yeah, there's this like demon spirit inside this boy's body, and she just has him around so he can perform the spirit or the soul transfer ritual into another person.
I look, I like their movie Talk to Me a lot better than this movie, but I think she did. I thought she did a great job in displaying the grief. Like, I picked up on it. Like, I
Yeah.
saw her like what the lengths she would go to bring her daughter back. And I think it was an accident during her watch that the daughter drowned. It was like while she was like taking care of her daughter. So it was her negligence that caused the daughter's death. So she's dealing with that. And you really felt it in the movie. It was just a lot of I felt like unnecessary body horror, like with the kid Oliver, what he was doing was just like
Oh yeah.
got too much at points. Like, I don't like that kind of.
Yeah, it was a little too much.
Yeah,
With the kitchen knife.
yeah, and then biting the table and all this other crap. It was just like,
Yeah, by the end of the movie, his body was like, his mouth was ripped off.
yeah. Oh,
It was,
He lived at the end. He survives somehow.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. I guess once that thing exits his body, he's back to normal.
but he was broken
But his
too, because
body
he
was
saw his
physically like
reflection.
disfigured. It was disfigured.
He saw the reflection in the mirror, and then he saw the missing picture, which was really messed up. It must have broke this kid's head, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's scarred for life.
He
But I
was
don't-
the scariest part of the movie.
Did you
here's
guys
an
see Talk to Me?
interesting- I haven't yet. I'm gonna watch it after this
Oh,
because
You gotta watch.
I'm
Talk to
reading.
Me.
I'm reading that the two movies are actually connected. They live in the same universe.
Really?
So
Oh,
much
there's a
so
universe?
that apparently Talk to Me and this movie take place on the same street. The characters live on the same street.
Oh, damn.
Oh wow.
Talk to Me
There's
was
also-
really good.
There's a tie-in website that is set in the universe of Bring Her Back and Talk to Me called blackangeltapes.net, and it reveals how Laura came into the possession of the ritual tape, and it explains what the circular motions that she traces on the window and on Ollie's head signify. and why the demon possessing Ali is constantly hungry. It supposedly explains all this stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, this website is creepy. I don't even want to mess with this.
It just sounds creepy, so I wasn't gonna click on it or anything. But apparently there was a few different endings that the directors wanted to play around with. It was originally supposed to end with the actual transfer of the
bodies.
So it was supposed to be a bigger, scarier like finale, but it got scrapped when their friend passed away, and they decided to switch to a more emotional ending, which is what we saw. You know, it was more.
Oh, that's interesting, because at the end, Piper does come out of the pool after she's being drowned and call Laura Ma, and that's what her daughter used to call her. I don't know if you guys picked up on that. So maybe that was like part of the shooting. They just left it for some reason.
I thought that happened when she said that. I thought she was faking it so she can stop drowning her. Like, she just said, "Mom, Mom," but she was faking it so she can like think the ritual worked and stop drowning her and like take her out of the water. And then that's when you saw her just like break off and like run away. You know?
Or maybe it was starting the process and then it broke off when she escaped and it didn't complete or something.
Yeah.
Do you guys know these directors, the brothers? They originated from YouTube. They're nuts. If you ever seen them like in interviews, they're such high energy. They're like bouncing off each other.
No, I don't know much because, like I've said before, previously in previous episodes, I haven't been keeping up with recent horrors, even though this past year and last year did have a lot of good horror releases, some of which, you know, I got to watch for this episode. But no, I don't know anything about them. This is the first piece of content from them I've seen, but I'm interested in seeing more because I like the concept. I like where they were going for this. I just didn't like the emotional angle about this.
Yeah, these guys got their start on YouTube, and then they did tons of videos and like short films or whatever on YouTube, and then they got Talk to Me, which was an amazing, really good movie. But these guys are nuts. If you get a chance, just look them up on YouTube, like an interview, and they're just such high energy. They're like bouncing off the walls. They're like super passionate about it, but they're idiots. They're like, it's so funny how they do such great movies.
And they're Australian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. Like, I like when you see young up and coming directors do things like this. It seems like they're going to have a pretty interesting career. So I will definitely keep an eye out, and I'm going to go back and watch Talk to Me. I remember that coming out, but have not seen it.
I've seen like
Max.
still images and production photos of that, and that looked way scarier to me than this. So that I'm scared to watch.
Isn't that
Talk
the
to
one
Me
with
had
the hand?
dope- Yeah,
There's like
had
a game
dope
around
premise.
a hand or something.
And
Really well done. It had a dope premise, and they nailed it. Like, they did a good job executing.
oh man,
Okay.
you guys want to move on to like a lighter? I think unanimously, you guys both really liked Hard Eyes.
Yeah, do you want to guys move on to Hard Eyes? Okay.
Hard Eyes was Paul's pick
This
for
was
his
Paul's
favorite.
darling. Yeah.
Paul, I'll let you set it off, but this was your favorite movie, horror movie of the year.
So yeah, I mean, this came out in February, and the premise is these two kind of thrown together coworkers are mistaken for a couple, and right now there was a series of years, the Hard Eyes killer would go around on Valentine's Day and kill couples, and so they're mistaken for a couple, and the Hard Eyes killer is kind of chasing after them. He's in their town or she's in their town, and havoc ensues. What I loved about this movie was it was dripping in like it knew what it was. You know, the very first scene there, the proposal, and it just knew what it was, and it owned it. The corniness, the cheesiness of like a proposal, like you see people trying to catch it for the gram, and they want that perfect, you know, so they can post it. And then they get murdered off like right off the bat. And then you don't get it back to the slasher part of the movie for like 45 minutes. The next 45 minutes is like a total romantic comedy. She did a horrible ad campaign. The ad campaign was good, but it focused on romance and death. But because of the Hard Eyes killer, the campaign failed. So they brought in somebody, to help with the campaign because it was failing. And then Q Gooden. What the heck is his name? Oh my gosh.
Oh, is that what's his name? Son, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son?
Yeah. Oh, why isn't he popping up right away on the top?
You mean Mason Gooding?
Yeah, Mason Gooding. This guy is he was in oh my gosh, my mind's drawing blanks. He was in Scream, but he did not get the screen time that he got in this. But they did such a great job, like those 45 minutes, they had such good chemistry, him and Olivia Holt. It was just, you got lost in this romantic comedy. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Hard Eyes Killer pops out. And like, you're like, oh shoot, that's right. This is a slasher movie. And then it's like, I thought it did a great job of blending the two genres.
So it's considered like a romantic slasher, which is new to me. When I started watching the movie, after that opening sequence, like all the tension that I had just went away, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a different type of movie than I was expecting. It's not a serious slasher horror film, which I was expecting. It's not very scary for the most part.
No.
So yeah, I did think it was interesting because it was like a comedy, it was a romance, and it was a slasher. I didn't particularly like the movie. It was a little bit too silly and goofy for me. I did like the performances though quite a bit, and I thought some of the jokes really landed, especially from Mason Gooding's character. But overall, I was like, I don't know, it didn't really do it for me.
You didn't like the romantic comedy aspect of it?
Not really. I just thought it was too cheesy. I thought it was way too cheesy. I thought the Hard Eyes Killer was not like a scary figure. And a lot of, these movies kind of bug me when I just feel like the characters make decisions that don't make any sense. There was also one scene, a couple of scenes where it's like they're in her apartment. She runs out into the street, and then like the next shot, they're somehow in a warehouse. She runs again, and then in the next shot, they're like in an abandoned amusement park. And I'm like, what world is this? Where they're just like time traveling? It just felt weird.
Everything's within like a block of each other.
Yeah, yeah. Residential abandoned amusement park, scary warehouse. Everything's within like 3 shots. So things like that will kind of like, also like the police station that was like completely empty.
Yeah, that was a big gripe.
Like stuff like that. It's just like, it's like, all right.
They were like, yo, what police station in LA is empty? That does not happen. Like,
yeah.
Look, it was, for me, you know what it was? It was like, for me, it's going to be my top February horror movie, like Valentine's Day horror movie. To me, it's top of the list. And it was like one of the first horror movies I got to see this year. And it was such a fun ride. Like, I went into it not expecting like this much. And I just came at it and I was like, wow, that was a really fun time. Like,
it was,
I think it nailed both parts.
That was like made for that holiday, like,
yeah.
We have like Christmas movies that come out for Christmas and stuff. So
it grabbed me at that moment, it was like that it locked me in that time of moment.
It's like you said, it's made to be like a date movie. It's about, Valentine's Day, came out around Valentine's Day. So it's just a treat for the viewers. I agree with you. I like that from the bat. It wasn't trying to hide what it was. They told you from the beginning with that first scene that it's going to be like a cheesy, corny, poking fun at itself, poking fun at the slasher genre and of films of the past.
It takes a lot from those Lifetime straight-to-TV romance movies.
Yeah.
But the
and I like that it's telling you that
for the gram.
I do like also that it tells you that from the beginning. It doesn't try to make you think like 30 minutes in, like, oh, you're watching a horror movie and then like some corny things start happening and, cringe things start happening. And it's like, oh man, I didn't know it was this type of movie, but it tells you from the bat. I I particularly thought that long, like, second act or whatever of just where it turned into a rom-com and nothing else was going on, I thought that went on for too long. It would have been nice to see like some scenes, like they cut to like the Hard Eyes killer, like just doing some more funny killing of couples, or tell a little bit about his backstory, or like who he is, or how this happened, how long this has been going on.
They're not
Show,
gonna
like,
tell you who he is.
show some vignettes or something of like
And
past
the reveal was weak
killings
too.
or something.
I think the reveal was kind of weak.
I
It wasn't
kind of
what I was
guessed it.
expecting.
I guessed it. I kind of they were kind of acting suspicious, so I
It
had
was-
a feeling it was going to be
get
one of the
it too.
cops.
I guess it too, and the reason I guess is because these type of movies, you're naturally guessing who it is, and obviously you assume Mason Gooding's character is going to be the killer, but then you're like, okay, that's too obvious. So who else could it be? It needs to be someone who has more than 5 minutes of screen time, or at least 5 minutes of screen time. So when that dude came out in the police station, that was the second time, and he was like, "Oh, do you remember me from wherever the fuck?" I was like, okay, so it's this guy. Like, it has to be this guy. I didn't expect it to be the other police officer as well.
Yeah.
And apparently there's a third guy that they killed earlier in the movie that I didn't even know about. But yeah,
I'm a sucker for these like slasher genres, like that like, you know, like Scream, Happy Death Day, movies like that. I'm a sucker for because I really enjoy them. They're like fun. So getting to see this, I was like so pleasantly surprised. So it just stuck with me. I know it's not like a deep horror. It's not like, but it was just such a fun time at the moment. So it always stuck out to me.
I think to the point you guys both made, if you see it through the lens of February, Valentine's Day, and then put this on it, like, it's perfect, right? Because you get your romantic comedy, you get your horror, very light horror. And even the killer, he has hearts for eyes. So if you put it just within that 1 month, I feel it works. Outside of that context, I think, which is when I saw it, that's why I think it didn't really work for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Any final thoughts, Pedro? There is going to be a sequel. I don't know. I mean,
There's going to be a sequel. I was going to mention that.
I didn't hear that yet. What's
Maybe
the sequel?
maybe we'll get some more background info on the Hard Eyes killer, and
I wonder if it's a
they
sequel.
said it's
or
been
prequel.
going on for so long, so it's got to be different people take on the mask and become the killer, you know, because
the killer's definitely dead. His head was on the floor.
yeah. And then the detectives said, like, you know, that they chose this couple because they thought they saw like the true love between them.
But there's
Oh,
no
really?
denying
When they
their
kissed,
chemistry was off the hook. Mason Gooding and Olivia Holt, like Allie and Jay, man, that chemistry was like,
Yeah, they were good.
I thought they did a great job.
Yeah, there's already like fake trailers for Hard Eyes 2, so there's a fan base behind the movie. So yeah, and then they tease a sequel at the post-credit scene. So good luck to them. I'm probably gonna skip the sequel, but maybe watch it on HBO.
Around Valentine's Day.
Yeah, maybe on Valentine's Day.
What is next?
Move on
Cloud
to
or the Damned?
let's do Cloud. Just because I haven't seen The Damned yet, and this one. Yeah, let's get into Cloud. I have some thoughts. So Cloud is a Japanese movie directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa, who I had never heard of, but he does a lot of these like psychological horror, suspense kind of movies. The movie is about a character named Yoshi, who's like a factory worker. He moonlights as an online reseller, and he sells a lot of like fake stuff online. And ultimately, like his buyers come back looking to do him harm. That's basically the plot of the movie. He lives with his girlfriend, and they move into like not the suburbs, but I guess into rural Japan outside of Tokyo to kind of hide out. Yeah, this movie, the trailer spooked me, but it was not actually a horror movie. It was suspenseful. It had like some really spooky moments with him alone in the apartment with that guy in the mask through that like blurry glass window. So it had some jump scares. But there's no beheadings or monsters or anything like that. It's really just a thriller. Ultimately, I kind of thought it was pretty boring, and I was let down, even though it's gotten really good reviews, and I don't really understand those. But I was disappointed with this movie, to be honest. I just thought the directing was very, average, a lot of medium and wide shots, and not really doing anything with the action, or I don't know. I don't know if the story is relevant to Japan, where bootleggers or it is like a thing. I don't know if they're saying something about the economics, or if this is an issue out there. But yeah, it kind of it didn't work for me, really.
I think some of the topics the movie covered were cultural to Japan. But I want to take a left turn. And I want to say I love this movie.
Oh shit!
Wow.
I thought the premise was super original. It was more of a suspense thriller revenge movie with some horror elements mixed in. Yeah, I think anyone that's collected or like been into any sort of hard to get or hard to acquire like things, like Pokemon trading cards, or sneakers that sell out right away on like the Nike sneakers app or anything, can relate to this story, which is you have resellers buying up all the stock of limited release items at face value to then resell it on eBay or online for marked up prices. And it really affects people that just love what it is that's being resold, like sneakers, like Pokemon cards, things like that. I think in Japan there's like a huge like toy action figure like scene
There's a
where
huge
they collect that
collectible
stuff,
scene, yeah.
Sailor Moon, like stuff like. And I thought it was original. I haven't seen any other story like this. Anyone that's been got by a reseller will tell you they hate paying marked up prices for something that cost a couple of bucks that is just near and dear to their heart. I like the indie style of shooting. I hadn't seen a foreign Japanese movie in a while, and this like really surprised me. I also did love that twist, how like this movie it starts off like you kind of are like learning about what this character's doing, then you start learning that people are following him and like trying to find out who he is and trying to get revenge on him, and then they come out and actually enact their revenge on him, and then that last act of the movie just turns into like an action like shootout,
Tarantino
last man standing. It
thing.
reminded me of like Reservoir Dogs with Tarantino, especially because a lot of the like shooting and killing happened in this warehouse, just like Reservoir Dogs. So I think there was a little homage to that. And kudos to the director and writer for being able to flip the movie into almost like 2 or 3 different genres in one movie.
The main character is so silent. He doesn't communicate a lot about his motives or his intentions, other than he wants to resell these items and just make as much money as possible. But he's not super emotive to his girlfriend, to his colleague. So it's very hard to like understand what he's trying to do. And the movie itself has like this aura of mystery for like the first hour too. So when you feel people like following him, like you see his old boss like staring at his apartment from downstairs, like that scares the shit out of you.
His window getting smashed and people running away, like.
And then he's riding his motorcycle, he crashes, and then you were like, why the hell did he just crash? And then he sees like one of those wires that's meant to like,
someone booby trap
pluck you. Yeah, it's like a booby trap to pluck you off your motorcycle. So none of these things are happening. You don't know if it's like coincidental or what's happening until he gets an assistant. He moves to outside the city, and we see through his assistant who looks up his name online and there's like a kind of like a Reddit kind of website where people are just trying to find this dude's address for selling like fake merchandise.
They're trying to dox him, yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to dox him to literally kill him. Like literally. And then it's like a bit of a manhunt for him. The plot twist that his assistant is like really well connected either to like the Japanese mafia or someone, and he's just like a killing machine is insane.
It's super loyal to him, like to the death.
Yeah,
that's what I didn't get. I didn't get why his assistant was so loyal to him. Like, this guy came in and saved the day. He was like his superhero. If it wasn't for him,
the hustle.
Yoshi would have been really like. He seems like he could have outshined Yoshi at any moment. He could have just taken over the business.
That was
so weird to me. I didn't get it.
I thought that was one of the best parts of the movie. It was just such a surprise, that this character you almost thought left the story because he fired him, and you see him like get his last paycheck and just leave, but comes back to save the day, man, like unexpectedly.
Like James Bond, man. Why was he so loyal to Yoshi though? Like, he could have done this on his own. He had his name. He had he could have got his credentials. He could have just done it on his own. He knew what he was doing. Like, I don't know. That's one part that threw me off, and the girlfriend too. Like the girlfriend, the
girlfriend was another strange character. She double crosses him at the end and gets shot.
At first, it seemed like she was kind of in love with him, and then that relationship kind of like started displaying that there had a lot of cracks. It was superficial, but he was still in love, but she was more about the money. To Pedro's point though, like I thought it was an original idea. You have a lot of like internet tough guys, like that hide behind the keyboard and like this, a lot of bootlegging and like when you're confronted with the people that you actually screwed over. And he was not like, Yoshi didn't want to believe that he was doing anything. Like, he wouldn't even check the merchandise to like, because it was like, what is it? Stroder's cat. Like, you didn't know if it was alive or dead. Same thing with this. Like, he didn't know if it was bootleg or not. Like, he didn't even want to know. He got a great deal on it, but he did manipulate people. Like in the very first series of things that he bought and sold and resold, he was manipulating the people's situation and taking advantage of them to get a good deal. And like how obsessed he was with materialism, and maybe just like getting a good sale, that like after that Quentin Tarantino style shootout, he sits there and checks the app to see if his items were sold or not. And he's like, we got a good sale on this. And his partner, the Chinese James Bond or Japanese James Bond, is like, oh, really? And he's like all into it. Like,
he's super into it. And he's pretty much, it reminded me of like, I don't know if this guy's a metaphor for the devil, because he's like, there's this super dark music and they're kind of driving in front of a green screen, obviously. And he's like promising him the world. He's like, you can have whatever you want, even if it destroys the world. He says something like that. And then Yoshi says, so this is how you get into hell, which is a hard line. I love that line.
Which kind of deflated a little bit, like with the green screen in the background. It's like, it was like cheesy, but it was like powerful at the same time. It was definitely a slow burn.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's at the end of the movie, after like you're coming down from all of this that's just happened. So it's easy to forget. I even kind of forgot about it, but yeah, it's just a little teaser hint that like maybe everything you just saw wasn't laid out for you. Maybe this guy Yoshi's just like a metaphor for or the assistant. Who was it that said the line that I could, you could have the whole world?
His assistant was Sano.
Yeah. Maybe his assistant didn't even exist. Maybe it was like, like the devil talking to him and whispering in his ears and doing all this stuff, So I thought that was a great
Usual Suspect style.
Yeah, I thought
he was the killer the whole time.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Like, it makes you question what you just saw and like re-examine the characters and everything. Also, I don't think to me, I didn't get that he was purposely selling fakes. I don't think he was aware of it.
Well, he said that he didn't even check. He's like, these things come and they go. I don't know what's real.
Too, so I know a lot of some of the people that wanted to kill him particularly wanted to get at him because they were sold fakes.
Definitely.
But
That's what the
you had that scene where that young kid was getting beat up by that man in the suit after he was playing in the arcades, and the guy in the suit was telling him, "You sold me, fake merchandise." And the kid was like, "Hey, I didn't even know it was fake. Like, that's just how I got it." So him not caring or not checking if what he's reselling is legit or not cost this kid who probably resold it after him,
right,
to have his life threatened.
To me, the best moment of the whole movie was the interaction with the girlfriend at the end, because his assistant letting that sit, like she just tried to shoot him right then and there, and the assistant's like, "Yo, if you don't cock the gun, it's not going to shoot." And he let that sit for a second to see if she was going to cock the gun to try to shoot, so Yoshi could see what she was really about. Like that, if she got a second chance, she would still take it. And then as she cocked it, the assistant took her out. Like that was a powerful moment. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
There's so much going on in that one scene. Like it just hit hard. It was really good. I didn't take that at the end. Thinking about it more, you're right about the ending. Like I just thought it was like he's willing to give up everything just for, be successful and make money. Because he was like with him alone and all that.
Which again,
but that could have been the devil. Yeah, you're right.
Again, it's what the devil promises you and all these horror movie concepts. You give him your soul, he'll give you the world. So,
which explains why Yoshi his assistant could have been like an international man of business, and he's just being like an associate and assistant to Yoshi. And now it makes a lot more sense why he's bringing himself down that level.
This movie's worth a rewatch. I think I'm gonna rewatch.
Yeah, it might
be interesting enough too. I just want to mention it for people who are interested. This movie, it's only been out. I don't think it's even been out a full year yet. But it's already gotten a Criterion Collection release.
Really?
It's been put into the Janus Films collection. So it's like a cultural, film achievement. Just the top movies make that collection. So, and that was fast. There's movies that have been waiting like decades to get a Criterion release.
Well, I think Japan pushed this movie really hard because of Kiyoshi. He had two other dope films.
That director's like a big thing at the moment. I need to check out more stuff with him, but it was their submission for the
International
Academy
Film
Awards.
Festival.
Yeah,
for the Oscars too. Yeah,
for best international film.
It premiered in Venice last summer. I don't know when it got like an international release, but it was probably, I think it came out early 2025 internationally, maybe, or late last year.
My big qualm is though that this is definitely not a horror. This is more of like a thriller, like a slow burn, psychological type breakdown, but not horror. Definitely not horror.
Yeah, what threw me off was the trailer, because it's just creepy as hell, and I didn't know if it was like a psychological horror or what. So and I think it came up on, I think Pedro, you shared like a horror movie list, and this, I don't know, one of the lists.
It was actually on. It was on. I think almost every. I shared like 3 or 4 lists, and it was on, I believe, all of them. So it is, it is tagged with the horror genre, but it's more than that.
It's definitely more than that. Yeah. So check it out. It's called Cloud. It's a Japanese film by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Is the director. So check that out. Our next movie is called The Damned. Do one of you guys want to set this up? Just because I didn't get this movie looks so freaking scary.
Pedro, you want to take that because this was yours?
This is like folk horror. Folk horror. See, this is a genre I don't really folk horror. There's usually a cabin and it's always dark and there's candles, and these movies are scary.
Yes, and that's why this was my pick. Because those type of horror movies are they're a little different, they're not your typical blood, guts, and gore and like jump scares or anything like that. I
gotta say,
this was my selection. I I love that it leaned into the folk horror. It took a lot of like Nordic, like Viking mythology and like Nor lore into it. It just felt like the type of movie that is it felt like the type of movie that is like a scary story you tell like at a campfire or at night. You know, you tell a scary story to go to bed to a kid. You know, like something you would read from like an old novel or something.
Yeah. Let me just read a little bit of the plot here before you guys dive in. So the movie focuses on Ava, who's a young widow. She lives in a remote fishing village, and one morning they witness a shipwreck, and they reluctantly agree to leave the survivors to their fate. But later, a barrel of salt pork from the wreckage washes ashore, prompting Ava to lead the crew on a risky nighttime search for more supplies. And from there, you know, the next day, a couple bodies wash ashore, and things get nasty.
Yeah. So to add a little more meat to that description, it is a very, very remote fishing outpost. It's the dead of winter. There's just snow and ice everywhere. The movie takes place in, I believe, the late 1800s. I think it's like 1890s. So like no electricity, anything like that. The crew, I guess, of fishermen that's hired to work out of this fishing post every year stay the winter. You know, they kind of have their lodge and everything there. And they're slowly running out of supplies because I guess the catch wasn't good that year. And that's what sort of led them to go on the scavenger hunt from the shipwreck that they saw in the near distance on like a close by island to the island where they're stationed at, in search of supplies. And I thought that scene when they went over there in the middle of the night, because they had to act fast. If they didn't go like in a few hours, whatever remaining like wreckage from that would have just sank to the bottom of this like frozen ocean,
Yeah.
or it would have just gone bad, or you just would have never been able to find it. And then when they got there, you know, some of the survivors, you can't really tell if they were like normal or if they were kind of like possessed, like if they came from a ghost ship or not. And that's what I really like too, leading up to that main like scene that drives this whole movie, is when you see that ship in the distance and you see like the shipwreck happen, you kind of can't tell, like, is that a real ship? Are there real people? Is it a ghost ship? Are they seeing this? Because it's like I believe it was like a Spanish it was like a Spanish like Armada type ship, and they're off in Scandinavia somewhere. So one of them even mentions it, like, what is that ship doing so far up north? So you don't know, you know, like maybe it's a ghost ship or not. And when they get there and it's the middle of the night and you see these survivors trying to like jump on their little boats to save themselves, you can't tell because they kind of look a little scary and like ghostly. So I thought that was cool, the way they left it up to that.
I gotta say, I was gonna say this movie definitely popped my Icelandic horror cherry, because the first Icelandic
it's
horror
so
movie
good,
I've
man.
seen.
It's so good.
I was thinking it was something else when I saw like the poster with the red crosses, The Damned. I thought it was going to be like about vampires. But so I was like,
or about like an exorcism or something like that, right?
to me, no, because once I saw the red crosses and that called The Damned, I definitely thought in my head right away. I was like, oh, you know, this is some kind of like different take on vampires. So I was waiting for that, Mike, you know, to that beat to drop the whole movie, and it didn't. And then when I realized what was going on, I was like, oh, this is something different. Definitely, you know, one thing I loved about this is the scenery. What a great place. Like whenever you get this, this type of like scenery out in the cold. You already feel on edge. The darkness comes quicker. Like this is kind of like 30 Days of Night. It just puts you in that atmosphere already of like being scared. Tons of shadows.
And that's the perfect movie to compare it to. With that.
So I loved it, like, because the fires casting shadows, you can't really believe what your eyes are seeing. Any of these movies that, oh my gosh, that movie, Jack, Come Out and Play. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired today. I can't think. The Shining.
Oh, The Shining?
Yeah. So like whenever you have these scenarios where you're out alone, isolated, right off the bat, you're uneasy because it's only two women, a young woman who's a widow. Her husband was a fisherman who died. And then the old woman, and they're surrounded by a group of guys who are fishermen. And she has to hold her own because she's the boss. Like that puts you on unease too. And with the scenario, like it was such a great setting. I felt it got repetitive at points. It's more psychological. There's no real like physical threat. It's more of like a psychological threat, and them dealing with guilt. It's the whole time they're just dealing with this guilt, and the guilt is really what's like pursuing them. But it was pretty good. It was like for like actual like sitting there horror. Out of all of our picks, I thought this was the best like horror that had me on edge the whole time. Like Hard Eyes was not that. Cloud was not that. And even Bring Her Back was more body horror. This was more like a true sense of like right off the bat.
Supernatural horror, like old wives' tales, old ghost stories. Like even the characters are debating between themselves. Like, should we believe this? This is just like old wives' tales that we were told. Is there really like this like spirit demon that, takes form in this specific region of the world and this specific time? And
this overbearing guilt the whole time followed you. Like from the moment they didn't save the people, they were all like stricken with guilt of like their decision. They made this choice and now they were living with it and it was following them. And the old myths of like you said, that were like even putting the nails in the feet so the dead wouldn't come and chase them. Like
you got to spin the coffin around 3 times.
My only big gripe with this is like I didn't love the reveal at the end, and I felt like it got repetitive. Like it was constantly like, did she see what she really saw? Yeah. Did he see what he saw? And it kept happening. Like that same beat kept happening. But otherwise, like I thought it was a really good. Like I enjoyed it. It had me on suspense for like the whole time. It was good.
Is this so? From the trailer, there's a scene where I think they suspect that the corpses that they buried have crawled out of their caskets. Is that something that happens in the movie?
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not like, oh, the corpses disappeared and like they turned into zombies and they attack them and it's like a run for all. It's more like it does happen, but it's more like the supernatural like element of it,
And I totally still don't understand. Like
are they hallucinating because they're short on food, on supplies, because they're going mad? Because this kind of like,
I see.
But there are some hard
supernatural spirit is like confusing them and stuff,
Like, but there's hard facts. Like they open up the casket and the body is missing.
Yeah,
you're questioning things the whole time, whether it's real or not. But then that finale really like makes you think like, wait, what was going on the whole time then? Like, what she did. So you know what happened, like with her, but like, why was one of the bodies missing? Was he still alive and he came out? Like, I don't. And what about all the other people that died? I know
Bruno. I think to your point, Bruno, the trailer made it seem scarier than it was, but the actual movie itself is just a slow burn. It's kind of like a scary story is being told to you, like. Are you afraid of the dark? You remember that show? You sit at a
But I love when movies
and
like
this carries you. It like just carries you with it. It's a short film too. It's only like an hour and 28 minutes.
I saw that. It's 89 minutes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's got such a small cast. But I love when movies like this leave your interpretation. Like I hate forcing jump scares, like just to make a point. I love like when you think you might see something in the shadow, and you're like, holy shit, did I just see that? Like, is she seeing something too?
Yeah.
Like, and it just sits there. Like Sinister did that. Like a lot of good movies do that, where something's in the background. And it takes you a moment, and then by the time you realize it, it's gone, and you're like, whoa, like it creeps you out.
You
You
shit
know what I
your
mean?
pants.
Yeah.
But
But
they're not all they're not all witnessing and like experiencing these things at the same time. Like she
No.
sees like a shadowy figure and she starts freaking out, and she's the only one that sees it. None
But
of the
she-
other.
But then they do, like, some of them start
Yeah,
doing
and then
it at
it
different
it
times.
starts spreading to the others, and that's like, okay, this folklore, this kind of like old wives' tale, like there's something to it. It's happening and stuff.
But then, like, you're questioning it. Is it hysteria kind of spreading? Is it because they're starving that they're like kind of like hallucinating? Is it the grief of like the guilt ridden that they're starting to see things because they feel so guilty about their decision? Like, you don't know where to place it. So it was good. Like, I wouldn't say it was like a great horror movie like that I'd probably watch over and over, but it was definitely good.
Yeah, it's not a masterpiece by all means. It's solid.
It was solid.
Yeah.
It grabbed my attention for a while.
And that's the reason why I chose it. I wanted, I wasn't in the mood for like demon possession, horror, zombie killing stuff. So I wanted a little something different.
Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely a different take.
And I think this one is on HBO Max. Is that right? I thought I saw it on there. Or not?
I'm not sure where it's available right now.
This one was. This in cloud was a hard find.
It's a pretty recent release. I think it came out back in October or early September. So it might be a little difficult to find.
It's on Hulu and Disney Plus apparently.
No way. The
That's
Damned is on Disney Plus.
According to Rotten Tomatoes, that's where it's on Hulu.
Damn, they went nuts
and Disney
with that.
Plus.
MA on Disney. Before we tie up, like just a couple, like, you guys want to throw out some other horrors for this or whatever, like this year that came out that you thought was good that we didn't put on this list?
Yo, honestly, I didn't really watch any, man. This is not really my go-to genre. I did end up watching Weapons, which I had a lot of fun with that movie. I thought it was a great cast, great story, and just like great narrative structure.
Sinners, we all saw. Sinners is definitely a high recommend. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah,
that's
not a
definitely
true horror.
Vampire.
Yeah, I guess it's horror, but it's a little lighter. It's it's more. There's some action. The music is phenomenal, man. By the way, so yeah, Sinners is great.
Long Walk.
Weapons
That was really good.
Weapons and Sinners, I think, are the only two other horror movies I saw this year. I haven't really, like I mentioned earlier, hasn't been my year for that, but I think those are definitely the top two best horror movies of the year.
Also, Final Destination Bloodlines. That was a good one. You saw, you liked it.
Yeah,
that was pretty good horror.
And again, is it horror? Is it more like I don't know.
Yeah.
The genre. There's so many horror movies coming out right now that the genre is so wide open. But
dude,
yeah,
you got
Final
death.
Destination
You got
is great.
death is the main antagonist. You got people getting like ripped to pieces. That's definitely a horror movie.
Yeah, just before we sign off, there's a scene in Cloud where one of the characters at the very end is like on his knees. The guy with the aquatics jacket that takes off his mask, like the young kid that Pedro referenced that got beat up in the arcade. He's like pleading for his life with the old man. The old man with the the old man with the two-shot shotgun who ends up shooting him in the head. And he does like it reminded me of like a Stone Cold Stunner move because he's on his knees, he gets shot in the head, he falls straight on his head and then bounces back up as if like Stone Cold when he stuns you and then you fall and then you do another somersault just to finish it off for effect. Yo, that's a great scene. So watch the movie for that one alone.
Two quick ones too. Companion was really good if people are interested in horror, and The Monkey. I thought The Monkey was pretty good.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Too early, January, February.
That came out this year too.
Yeah, all those came out.
Yeah, this like January was packed with horror movies.
The Conjuring, Megan 2.0 was big.
They all came out in January.
All right, we'll leave it there, guys. Join us next week. Not sure what we're gonna cover yet, but I've watched Frankenstein, so we'll cover that at some point and a few other things. So we'll see ya. Peace.
Begonia.